Hiligaynon, often referred to as Ilonggo, is an Austronesian language spoken in the Western Visayas region of the Philippines. Hiligaynon is concentrated in the provinces of Iloilo, Negros Occidental, Guimaras and Capiz, but is also spoken in the other provinces, such as Negros Oriental, Antique, Aklan, Romblon, Masbate and Palawan, and in many parts of Mindanao such as Koronadal City, South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat and in other parts of North Cotabato. It is also spoken as a second language by Karay-a speakers in Antique, Aklanon and Malaynon speakers in Aklan, and Capiznon speakers in Capiz. There are approximately 7 million people in and outside the Philippines who are native speakers of Hiligaynon, and an additional 4 million who are capable of speaking it with a substantial degree of proficiency. It is a member of the Visayan language family. The language is also often referred to as Ilonggo in Iloilo and in Negros Occidental. Many argue, however, that this is an incorrect usage of the word Ilonggo. In precise usage, Ilonggo should only be used in relation to the ethno-linguistic group that are native inhabitants of Iloilo and the culture associated with native Hiligaynon speakers, they argue. The disagreement over the usage of Ilonggo to refer to the language extends to Philippine language specialists and native laymen. Historical evidences from observations of early Spanish explorers in the archipelago point out to the fact that the nomenclature used to refer to this language had its origin among the people of the coasts or people of the Ilocos, whom Lorca called Hiligaynos. In contrast, the Karay-a has been used by what the Spanish colonizers called Arayas, which is most probably a Spanish misconception of the Hiligaynon words Iraya or Taga-Araya, or the current and more popular version Karay-a. Classification, dialects. Similar to many languages in the Philippines, very little research on dialectology has been done on Hiligaynon. Some of the widely recognized varieties of the language are Urban Iloilo or Ilonggo, Bacolodnon, Guimaras and Koronadal. Native speakers also consider Karay-a and Capiznon as dialects of Hiligaynon. However, these have been classified by linguists as separate languages. Related languages. According to H. Otley Bear and other anthropologists, the term Visayan was first applied only to the people of Fanao and to their settlements eastward in the island of Negros, and northward in the smaller islands, which now compose the province of Romblon. In fact, at the early part of Spanish colonialization of the Philippines, the Spaniards used the term Visayan only for these areas. While the people of Cebu, Bohol, and Leyte were for a long time known only as Pintados. The name Visayan was later extended to these other islands because, as several of the early writers state, their languages are closely allied to the Visayan dialect of Fanao. Writing system. Until the second half of the 20th century, Hiligaynon was widely written based on Spanish orthography consisting of 32 letters called abecedario. The core alphabet consists of 20 letters used for expressing consonants and vowels in Hiligaynon, each of which comes in an uppercase and lowercase variety. Alphabet, additional symbols, the apostrophe, and dash, also appear in Hiligaynon writing, and might be considered letters. The dash, in particular, is used medially in some words to indicate the glottal stop san o a euro when a euro unregistered trademark gabi a euro evening. Night a euro unregistered trademark. It is also used to indicate the point in a word where reduplication is present, adlaw a euro daily, every day a euro unregistered trademark, from adlaw a euro day, soon a euro unregistered trademark. However, the use of this means of marking reduplication is not always consistent, pisps a euro bird a euro unregistered trademark. In addition, some English letters may be used in borrowed words. Grammar, determiners. Hiligaynon has three types of case markers, absolutive, ergative, and oblique. These types in turn are divided into personal, that have to do with names of people, and impersonal, that deal with everything else, and further into singular and plural types, though the plural impersonal case markers are just the singular impersonal case markers plus mga, a particle used to denote plurality in Hiligaynon. The articles sing and sing mga means the following noun is indefinite, while sang tells of a definite noun, like the use of in English as opposed to the. However, it is not as common in modern speech, being replaced by sang. it appears in conservative translations of the Bible into Hiligaynon, and in traditional or formal speech, the plural personal case markers are not used very often and not even by all speakers. Again, this is an example of a case marker that has fallen largely into disuse, but is still occasionally used when speaking a more traditional form of Hiligaynon, using less Spanish loan words. The case markers do not determine which noun is the subject and which is the object. Rather, the affix of the verb determines this, though the ang-marked noun is always the topic. Personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns. In addition to this, there are two verbal deictics, Karay-a, meaning come to speaker, and Kato, meaning to go yonder. Copula, Hiligaynon lacks the marker of sentence inversion I of Tagalog Filipino or hay of Ekanon. Instead, sentences in SV form are written without any marker or copula. Examples: Si Maria I Maganda, Si Maria Machayam / Si Maria Guapa equals Maria is beautiful. Maria is beautiful. There is no direct translation for the English copula to be in Hiligaynon. However, the prefixes manjan and nanjan may be used to mean will be and became, respectively. Example: Manama registered trademark manjan mangaranan, it is nice to become rich. The Spanish copula star has also become a part of the Hiligaynon lexicon. Its meaning and pronunciation have become corrupted. In Hiligaynon it is pronounced as a star, and means to live location, compare with the Hiligaynon word puo. Example: Naga star ako sa Tabuk Suba, I live in Tabuk Suba. Tabuk Suba translates to other side of the river, and is also a barangay in Jaro, Iloilo. Existential, to indicate the existence of an object, the word may is used. Example: May I ko, I have a dog. Hiligaynon linkers, when an adjective modifies a noun, the linkan ga links the two. Example: Itom ga ido, black dog. Sometimes, if the linker is preceded by a word that ends in a vowel, glottal stop or the letter N, it becomes acceptable to contract it into ng, as in Filipino. This is often used to make the words sound more poetic or to reduce the number of syllables. Sometimes the meaning may change, as in Maonga-aga and Malongaga. The first meaning, good morning, while the other is the greeting for good morning. The linker ka is used if a number modifies a noun. Example: Anam ka ido, 6 dogs. Interrogative words. The interrogative words of Hiligaynon are as follows: Din, Sano, Sino, Ngawa, Kamusta, Ano, and Pila. Din means where. Example: Din ka na sabang. Where are you now? A derivation of din, Tagadian, is used to inquire the birthplace or hometown of the listener. Example: Tagadian ka. Where are you from? Sano means when. Example: Sano innocent. When is that? Sino means who. Example: Sino imo ebian. Who is your friend? Ngao means why. Example: Ngao indi ka makadto. Why won't you go? Kamusta means how, as in, how are you? Example: Kamusta ang tindahan. How is the store? Ano means what. Example: Ano ang imo ginabasa. What are you reading? A derivative of ano, pano, means how, as in, how do I do that? Example: Pano ko makapula registered trademark. How can I get home? A derivative of pano is paanono, an archaic phrase which can be compared with kamusta. Example: Paanono ako. How art thou? Pila means how much, how many. Example: Pila ang mo podza imo. How many are with you? A derivative of pila, ikapila, asks the numerical order of the person, as in, what place were you born in your family? Firstborn, secondborn, etc. This word is notoriously difficult to translate into English, as English has no equivalent. Example: Ikapila ka sa inayo familia. What place were you born into your family? A derivative of pila, tagpila, asks the monetary value of something, as in, how much is this beef? Example: Tagpalanin ga kon sang baka. How much is this beef? Verbs, focus. As it is essential for sentence structure and meaning, Focus is a key concept in Hiligaynon and other Philippine languages. In English, in order to emphasize a part of a sentence, variation in intonation is usually employed. The voice is stronger or louder on the part emphasized. For example, the man is stealing rice from the market for his sister. The man is stealing rice from the market for his sister. The man is stealing rice from the market for his sister. The man is stealing rice from the market for his sister. The man is stealing rice from the market for his sister with his hands. Furthermore, active and passive grammatical constructions can be used in English to place focus on the actor or object as the subject. The man stole the rice versus the rice was stolen by the man. In contrast, sentence focus in Philippine languages is built into the construction by grammatical elements. Focus is marked by verbal affixes and a special particle prior to the noun and focus. Consider the following Hiligaynon translations of the above sentences. Nagkawat ang lalaki sang bagazar tinda para sa iayatod. Janakawat sang lalaki ang bagazar tinda para sa iayatod. Janakawatan sang lalaki sang bagaz ang tinda para sa iayatod. Janakawatan sang lalaki sang bagazar tinda ang iayatod. Ikawat sang lalaki sang bagazar tinda para sa iayatod ang iakamot. Lalaki equals man. Kawat equals to steal. Bagaz equals rice. Tinda equals market. Sister equals yatod. Kamot equals and, aspect, mode, summary, reduplication. Hiligaynon, like other Philippine languages, employs reduplication, the repetition of a root or stem of a word or part of a word for grammatical or semantic purposes. Reduplication in Hiligaynon tends to be limited to roots instead of affixes, as the only inflectional or derivational morpheme that seems to reduplicate is pa. Root reduplication suggests non-perfectiveness or non-telicity. Used with nouns, reduplication of roots indicate particulars which are not fully actualized members of their class. Note the following examples. Reduplication of verbal roots suggests a process lacking a focus or decisive goal. The following examples describe events which have no apparent end, in the sense of lacking purpose or completion. A lack of seriousness may also be implied. Similarly, reduplication can suggest a background process in the midst of a foreground activity, as shown in. When used with adjectival roots, non-telicity may suggest a gradualness of the quality, such as the comparison in. In comparative constructions, the final syllables of each occurrence of the reduplicated root are accented. If the stress of the second occurrence is shifted to the first syllable, then the reduplicated root suggests a superlative degree, as in note that superlatives can also be created through prefixation of pinaka to the root, as in pinaka de ka. While non-telicity can suggest augmentation, as shown in, it can also indicate diminishment as in shown in contrast with. In, more yo-yo, accented in the superlative pattern, suggests a trajectory of improvement that has not been fully achieved. In, more yo cubed suggests a trajectory of decline when accented in the comparative pattern. The reduplicated yo implies suboptimal situations in both cases. Full goodness wellness is not achieved. Sounds, Hiligaynon has 16 consonants, /ptkbdemn angstrom shwl 3/4 j/. There are 3 main vowels, /ei/ and /oish/. I and e are allophones, with I in the beginning and middle and sometimes final syllables and e in final syllables. The vowels, ish and o, are also allophones, with ish always being used when it is the beginning of a syllable, and o always used when it ends a syllable. Consonants, d, and e 3/4 were once allophones but cannot interchange as in other Philippine languages, patuaron, from patuad, forgiveness but not patuadon, and tagadian, from dien, where but not tagarian. Loan words, Hiligaynon has a large number of words that derive from Spanish words including nouns, adjectives, prepositions, and conjunctions. Moreover, Spanish provides the Ilonggo base for items introduced by Spain, for example, barco, zapatos, cutsilo, cutsara, tenida, Plato, camiseta, and cameo. Spanish verbs used in Hiligaynon often remain unconjugated, which in Filipino would almost always be conjugated in the vos form, for example, compara, manda, pasa, tenor, dispna, mantna, and assistir. Examples: numbers, days of the week. The names of the days of the week are derived from their Spanish equivalents. Months of the year. The first set of Hiligaynon names of the months are derived from Spanish. Quick phrases: greetings, this, that, and whatnot. Space and time: the marketplace, the Lord's Prayer. Amay naman, mga yara ka za mga langit, pagdayo ng imon kolan, umabot sa amon ang imo janharian, matuman ang imo bot, diary za duta sa bangsang za langit, hatagan mo kami niyan singkanon naman, za may tagadlo, kagapatawad mo ang mga sala naman, sa bangga janapatawad naman ang nakasla za amon, kagdili mo kami nga ipagpadog za mga panyali, Gino o luwasan mo kami za kalat, Amen. Translation of Ten Commandments written in photo: 1. Believe in God and worship only Him. 2. Do not use the name of God without purpose. 3. Honor the day of the Lord. 4. Honor your father and mother. 5. Do not kill. 6. Do not pretend to be married against virginity. 7. Do not steal. 8. Do not lie. 9. Do not have desire for the wife of your fellow man. 10. Do not covet the riches of your fellow man. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Children's Books, Ang Bukid Nga. Nagpalanga Sang Pisps. Ang Bukid Nga Nagpalanga Sang Pisps is a fully illustrated, colored children's picture book. The original story is The Mountain That Loved a Bird by Alice McLaren. Originally published in the United States with illustrations by Eric Carle, the story has been translated to Hiligaynon by Genevieve Elasenjo and illustrated with new art by Bulagt Goza Tagiwalo drawn from the landscapes of the Philippines. The publisher is Mother Tongue Publishing Incorporated, 1, a new publishing company based in Manila, Philippines formed in November 2006 by Mario and Beulah Tagiwalo. Their mission is to publish books in as many languages as possible. They are inspired by the words of science fiction writer Ursula K. Le Guin, a Euro-OE literature takes shape and life in the body, in the wombs of the mother tongue. They also agree with neuroscientist Elkhorn Goldberg, who refers to mother tongues as a Euro-OE, an extremely adaptive and powerful device for modeling not only what is, but also what will be, what could be, and what we want and do not want to be. A Euro. See also, Languages of the Philippines, Karay-a language. Noted Hiligaynon writers: Antonio Ledesma, Jaime lawyer, revolutionary, provincial governor, and assemblyman. Born in Jairo, lived in Bacolod City. Graciano La Cubed Peziana, journalist, orator, and revolutionary from Iloilo, well known for his written works, La Solidaridad and Fray Botod. Born in Jairo. Flavio Zaragoza Wicano, lawyer, journalist and the Prince of Visayan poets. Born in Janipan. 2, 3. Conrado Sacrian Norada, lawyer, intelligence officer and governor of Iloilo from 1969 to 1986. Co-founder and editor of Yum magazine. Born in Iloilo City. 4. Ramon Wazones, born in Molo. 5. Magdalena Gilandini, prolific writer, novelist and feminist. Born in Jairo. 6. Angel Magam Sr. Writer, editor and composer. Composed the classic Iloilo ang Banwako, the unofficial song of Iloilo. Born in Molo. 7. 8. Valant Cristobal, noted Hiligaynon playwright. Born in Polo, Bulacan. 9. References. English Tagalog Ilonggo Dictionary by Tomas Alvarez Abuayan, National Bookstore. ISBN 971-08-6865-9. External links: Omniglit on Hiligaynon writing, Ilonggo Community and Discussion Board, Dictionaries, Hiligaynon Dictionary, Hiligaynon to English Dictionary, English to Hiligaynon Dictionary, Bansa.org Hiligaynon Dictionary, Kaufman's 1934 Hiligaynon Dictionary online, Diccionario de la Lengua Bija Hiligaynon y Harea de la Ilada. For now, learning resources, some information about learning Ilonggo, Hiligaynon Lestins, Hiligaynon Reference Grammar, Writing System, Baybana Euro the Ancient Script of the Philippines, the Evolution of the Native Hiligaynon Alphabet, the Evolution of the Native Hiligaynon Alphabet, Genocide, the Importance of the Hiligaynon 32-letter alphabet, Primary Texts, Online ebook of Ang Panilit za Pagkasala plus or minus gar CD o Angela Dionisio, za Mercadera plus or minus gar Contragusto in Hiligaynon, published in Mundaria, Iloilo, Secondary Literature, Language and Desire in Hiligaynon, Missionary Linguistics, Selected Papers from the First International Conference on Missionary Linguistics, Oslo, March 13 – Euro 16, 2003 ed. by Otto Zwartjes and Even Hagen.